Typhoon Ampil, it's a category 2 typhoon, and still strengthening with an expectation of reaching category 3 status before it gets really close to the eastern coast of Japan. And not officially expected to make landfall, but still it is a possibility where Tokyo is nearby the path of Ampil, so a really high populated area could be affected by this typhoon, and catastrophic consequences could occur if the people don't prepare enough or don't get really well prepared or follow the authorities instructions to the nearing typhoon Ampil, that it's still strengthening category 2, position at 30.3 degrees north, 141.2 degrees east, expected to reach category 3. And such a weird occurrence that we are really high latitude typhoons still strengthening and of course reaching major status that it doesn't really usually occurs, but Ampil is one of those cases that it actually could happen, so of course it represents a lot of danger for the people in Japan. So far, the latest at 13 hours local time in Tokyo, 4 hours UTC of August 15th. Ampil is a category 2 typhoon with winds of 105 miles per hour with a pressure of 966 millibars, moving to the north at 15 miles per hour. It's now drifting a little bit more faster and expected to accelerate more, of course, as it gets closer to Japan and strengthens as well. And as you can see, the forecast by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, it's expecting that Ampil by the next day that it's going to be a category 3 typhoon, possibly reaching its peak intensity in the next 24 to 36 hours when it gets really close to Japan, and then its closest point to the eastern coast of Japan, it's when it's going to start weakening substantially, but still really quite strong typhoon, and rapidly turning into an extratropical cyclone and dissipating by the next 3 or 4 days possibly. But of course, the danger that Ampil represents for Japan, it's high, since the proximity of this typhoon will be really close actually to the eastern coast of Japan, really strong one. It's not a broad system, but of course still some cyclonic effects could happen or could occur in the eastern coast of Japan, including Tokyo, with rainfall accumulation, storm surge, flash flooding could occur as well. So the typical dangers that occurs when a cyclone is nearing landfall. And about the wind shear, it's quite moderate still around Ampil, but of course it's decreasing right now. It started to decrease, so of course Ampil will take advantage of that, and that's why it's going to intensify into a category 3 typhoon, since the humidity levels have risen, and this gave Ampil the room to actually intensify and to look more like a proper tropical cyclone with those rain bands around its circulation, and compared to the previous satellite imageries that we saw on the updates before. And the sea surface temperatures 29 Celsius, 29-30 Celsius. Of course, it's absolutely warm, completely favorable to intensification and to sustain a powerful cyclone that Ampil it is right now, and of course still gaining power, so nothing really that could impede Ampil to intensify furthermore. And the GFS model prediction, it's telling us that possibly could make landfall or have a really close pass, a parallel pass to the eastern coast of Japan, of course starting to weakening after it gets its closest point to Japan, and the effects of Ampil in the eastern coast of Japan, including Tokyo, are expected. So really dangerous situation for the people in Japan, that they don't have much more time to prepare, so it is now or never basically to prepare properly for the arrival or the possible arrival for this strong typhoon. We have also tropical depression Wukong that appears by the GFS model that is going to intensify a little bit more or regain tropical status. It's something weird to see. Actually, I've never saw anything like that. But I mean, it's a GFS model, sometimes has its strange calls. Not sure if actually will happen, since the sea surface temperatures around the 40 degrees latitude, it's quite marginal and not really warm enough to sustain a tropical cyclone, but we'll see. Anything could happen. And more cyclones expected to form as well nearby Taiwan in the next days. But well, moving on and moving back again with Ampil, the maximum wind speeds by different models are in the range of category 1 and category 2 typhoon. The GFS it's still calling this a category 1. The HWRF it's calling it a category 1 as well, but the Joint Typhoon Warning Center is saying that it's already a category 2 typhoon, of course reaching category 2 and category 3 status, and possibly the Joint Typhoon Warning Center having the most intense prediction by this storm, category 3, a high-end category 3, including the HWRF that is expecting a category 3 typhoon, a high-end category 3. Not really the same case with the GFS that it's predicting high-end category 2 or low-end category 3 storm, and of course gradual weakening after its peak intensity on the next day and dissipating as an extra tropical storm or a strong extra tropical storm on the next 3 to 4 days. The wind shear levels are still moderate but decreasing substantially, and the lowest levels of wind shear are expected tomorrow, making coincidentally making a coincidence, or I don't know if it's the word to be said, but it's the date when Ampil will have its peak intensity of a category 3 typhoon. So of course the August between today and tomorrow is going to be show time for Ampil to actually show us how much it will get strong, how strong it will get, and to see if actually it will get stronger than it's predicted, or will maintain some status or some strength that has been having on the last hours. But still a really strong typhoon despite the high latitudes. Of course it's under really favorable conditions, and those conditions will last at least 36 hours before substantially gets worse as it progresses more to the north. The sea surface temperatures 29 to 30 Celsius, completely favorable for Ampil, and the humidity levels are quite good, 75%, 70 to 75%. Not that much, but not low as well, that as we saw on the last updates. But of course Ampil will get advantage of that when where the humidity are quite high, and of course that also will contribute to Ampil to intensify furthermore. And this is the satellite presentation of Ampil. Really disorganized category 2 typhoon, not really the best looking storm, but the eye is clearing out. It's looking healthy despite the disorganization. The cloud tops are really warm, only -60, reaching near the core of Ampil. But it is an intensifying cyclone, and this is the main reason we have to pay attention, because we are still expecting additional strengthening and a possible category 3 typhoon. We are going to be talking tomorrow, and of course when it gets really close to Japan in the eastern coast, and as well Tokyo. So you can check those floaters on Forster Team's website, and of course we are going to keep you updated with more videos and more content in our social media, so please stay tuned and don't miss anything that we are going to upload on our social. So please, you are going to be completely updated and prepared, well prepared for the arrival of this cyclone and anything that it happens around the world. That's the update of Ampil's. That's the update of Typhoon Ampil. and we are going to be back tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Become an Ultimate Fan today.